This roast is magnificent. You must have the first bite. I agree. It's been perfectly prepared.
Not this time! Bring it! This ends now!
Daniel, calm down.
This is impossible. We have breaking news. Reed Enterprises is collapsing. The stock has plummeted and bankruptcy appears imminent. No, not now! I have to get to the hospital!
I always felt like a guest in my own house. Why can't you be more like Ethan? My father would say. I'm trying, I would answer. Trying isn't enough, he would reply. That was my childhood. Ethan was perfect. Straight A's. Football captain. My father's pride. I was the disappointment. Daniel, don't embarrass us tonight. My mother would whisper before every event. I won't, I'd say, even when I didn't know what I'd done wrong. At dinner one night, Ethan smirked at me. You forgot Dad's meeting again. I didn't forget, I said. No one told me. My father's fork hit the plate. Stop making excuses. I swallow my words. I always did. That night, I couldn't sleep. The house felt tense. Around midnight, I heard voices from my parents' study. The door was slightly open. I can't live with this anymore, my mother whispered. You think I can? My father shot back. We had no choice, she said. If the truth came out, everything would have been destroyed. Destroyed? My father's voice dropped low. Switching them was the only way to protect our name. My heart stopped. Switching who? My mother started crying. He's growing up. What if he finds out? He won't, my father said. Because we will never tell him. My legs felt weak. I stepped back before the floor creaked. I rushed to my room and shut the door. Switching them. The words echoed in my head. The next morning, I stared at myself in the mirror. Who are you? I whispered. At breakfast, I watched them carefully. My mother avoided my eyes. My father read the newspaper like nothing had happened. Ethan laughed. Why are you staring at us like that? Just thinking, I said. Don't hurt yourself, he replied. I forced a smile, but my mind was racing. Later that day, when the house was empty, I walked into my parents' bedroom. My hands were shaking. Don't do this, I told myself. But I did. I opened drawers, checked closets. Nothing. Then I saw it. A small locked box inside my mother's wardrobe. I knew she kept jewelry there. But this box looked older. Come on, I muttered. I searched for the key. After 10 minutes, I found it taped under her vanity. My chest pounded as I unlocked the box. Inside were papers, old hospital documents, and a tiny hospital bracelet. I picked it up. It had a different name. Not Daniel Reed. Lucas. My vision blurred. This isn't real, I whispered. I flipped through the documents. Birth records. 2 baby boys. Same hospital. Same night. One labeled Reed. One labeled Hayes. There was a signed paper with my father's name. Payment authorization. My stomach dropped. No, I said out loud. No. The front door slammed downstairs. I quickly shoved the bracelet into my pocket and locked the box again. At dinner, I couldn't stay quiet. I heard you last night, I said suddenly. My mother froze. Heard what? In the study, I said. About switching them. My father slowly put down his glass. You were eavesdropping? Answer me, I said. My voice shook. Who did you switch? Ethan frowned. What are you talking about? Stay out of this, I snapped. Watch your tone, my father warned. Am I even your son? I asked. Silence filled the room. My mother's lips trembled. Daniel, don't, I said. Just tell me the truth. My father stood up. You are part of this family. That's not what I asked. Ethan looked confused. Dad, go to your room, my father told him. I'm not a child, Ethan argued. Now, Ethan stormed off. I looked at my parents. Was I switched at birth? My mother started crying again. We were protecting everything. Protecting what? I demanded. Our marriage, she whispered. I felt like the air had been knocked out of me. So it's true. My father's jaw tightened. It was necessary. Necessary to steal someone else's child. I shouted. We didn't steal, he snapped. We corrected a mistake. A mistake. My hand was shaking. I'm a mistake. My mother reached for me. You don't understand. Then make me understand. She covered her face. I made a terrible decision years ago. If the truth had come out, our family would have been ruined. So you switched babies? I said. You switched me. My father's silence was my answer. I laughed, but it sounded broken. So who am I? My father said nothing. My mother whispered, You're still our son. Am I? I asked. Or am I just your secret? No one answered. I pulled the bracelet from my pocket and threw it on the table. Who is Lucas? I asked. My father's face went pale. Where is he? I demanded. That doesn't concern you, he said. It concerns me if that's my name. It's not your name, he snapped. Your name is Daniel Reed. I felt something inside me crack. That's not what the bracelet says. I whispered. My mother sobbed. We were going to tell you someday. When? I asked. After you died? My father looked at me with cold eyes. You will drop this. No, I said quietly. His voice hardened. If you value this family, you will forget what you saw. I can't forget, I said. You changed my entire life. You have everything, he said. Money, education, status. I want the truth. I shouted. You can't handle it, he replied. I stared at both of them. All those years of feeling unwanted suddenly made sense. I wasn't theirs. I stood up slowly. Tell me one thing, I said. My mother looked up at me. Whose life am I living? No one answered. I walked back to my room in silence. My reflection in the mirror looked like a stranger. I touched my face. Lucas, I whispered. The name felt wrong. Or maybe it felt right. My chest tightened. If I'm not their son, I whispered to myself, my voice barely steady. Then who am I? I didn't sleep. At 6 a.m, I grabbed my keys. Where are you going? My father asked from the kitchen. Out, I said. Drop this nonsense, he warned. I'm not done, I replied. I drove straight to the hospital listed on the bracelet. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. At the front desk, I forced a calm voice. I need birth records from 23 years ago. That's confidential, the receptionist said. It's about my identity, I answered. Please. After hours of calls and a small lie about legal paperwork, I got a name. Lucas Hayes. I stared at it on screen. Is there an address? I asked. She hesitated. Why do you need this? Because I think he's living my life, I said quietly. She gave me a look I couldn't read, then slid a printed page toward me. I drove to the address. Small house. Faded paint. Old car in the driveway. This is it, I whispered. I watched from across the street. A woman stepped out first. Tired eyes. Simple clothes. She locked the door carefully. Sarah Hayes, I muttered. Then he came out. Lucas. He looked like my father. Same posture. Same sharp jaw. But he smiled at the woman like she was the center of his world. Mom, I'll pick you up after your shift, he said. You don't have to, she replied. I want to, he said. She touched his face. You're a good son. Good son. The words hit me harder than anything. I stepped out of my car. Lucas. I called. He turned. Yeah. I need to talk to you. He walked closer, cautious. Do I know you? No, I said. But you should. He frowned. What does that mean? Were you born at St. Mary's Hospital? I asked. He stiffened. That's random. Just answer. Yes, he said slowly. What? I swallowed. So was I. He crossed his arms. Okay. I think you were switched. He stared at me like I was crazy. Switched? At birth, I said. I have proof. Proof of what? He snapped. That you're supposed to be Daniel Reed. Silence. That rich family? He asked. Yes. He laughed. You're joking. I wish I was. He stepped back. This isn't funny. It's not a joke. I said. Your name was on my hospital bracelet. My name? He whispered. Lucas Hayes. His face changed. Who are you? He asked. My name is Daniel Reed, I said. Or at least that's what I've been told. He shook his head. No. No way. Your father, I said carefully, is Richard Reed. My father died when I was 5, he replied sharply. That's what you were told. He grabbed my shirt. Don't talk about my dad. I'm not trying to hurt you, I said. I'm trying to tell you the truth. Why? He demanded. Why would someone do that? To protect a secret, I said. He let go slowly. What secret? I hesitated. My mother had an affair, I said. I'm not my father's biological son. He stared at me. So they switched you with me? He asked. Yes. He looked toward his house. My mom would never agree to that, he said. They bribed a nurse, I replied. Your mom probably never knew. He ran a hand through his hair. This is insane. I know. He looked at me again. So you grew up rich? Yes. And I grew up here? Yes. He laughed bitterly. You think I care about money? I don't know what you care about, I admitted. I just know we were lied to. He was quiet for a long moment. My mom worked double shifts my whole life, he said softly. She cried at night when she thought I was asleep. I felt sick. She should have had help, I said. You think I needed a mansion? He shot back. I had love. His words hit me. I didn't, I said before I could stop myself. He looked at me differently then. What was it like? He asked. Cold, I said. Controlled. Like I was a reminder of something bad. He studied my face. You're serious, he said. Yes. He exhaled slowly. What do you want from me? I don't know, I admitted. Maybe I just wanted to see you. Why? Because you look like you belong there, I said. And you don't. No. He looked confused. So what now? I'm going to confront them, I said. You already did, didn't you? Yes. And they admitted it. His eyes widened. They admitted they switched us? Yes. He stepped back like the ground shifted under him. That means, he whispered, you're their real son, I said. He shook his head. I don't want that. You don't get to choose, I replied. Yes, I do, he said firmly. I choose my mom. I felt something twist in my chest. You're not angry? I asked. I'm confused, he said. But I'm not greedy. I'm not greedy either, I snapped. I just want justice. He looked at me carefully. Justice or revenge? I didn't answer. He sighed. What are you going to do? Expose them, I said. They treated me like punishment. Punishment? He repeated. I was proof of her betrayal, I said. That's why they switched us. His jaw tightened. So you paid for her mistake? Yes. And now you want them to pay? Yes. He looked toward his house again. My mom doesn't deserve this, he said quietly. I won't hurt her, I promised. He studied me one last time. If this is true, he said, everything changes. It already has, I replied. He stepped back slowly. I need time. You'll get it, I said. As I walked to my car, my phone rang. My father. I answered. Where are you? He demanded. Out, I said. Did you contact him? He asked. Silence. Daniel, he warned. I looked at Lucas standing in his driveway. Yes, I said. You will not ruin this family, my father shouted. I ended the call. My hands were shaking, but not from fear. From anger. I looked at Lucas one more time. He had my father's face, but he had something I never did. Peace. I got into my car and whispered, I'm not done. I decided right then. I would meet Lucas again, and next time, I wouldn't tell anyone. I met Lucas again 2 days later at a quiet park near his house. He stood when he saw me. The sunlight hit his face, and it felt like I was looking at my father 20 years younger. This better not be another joke, he said. It's not a joke, I replied. They stole your life. He folded his arms. You already said that, and it's still true. He studied me carefully. You look tired. I haven't slept, I admitted. Why does this matter so much to you? He asked. Because every time my father looked at me, I saw hate, I said. Now I know why. Lucas stayed silent. I found the documents, I continued. Signed payments. Hospital records. Your name was attached to my birth file. He shook his head slowly. This isn't funny. I'm not laughing. You're telling me some rich family switched babies because of an affair, he said. Yes. And you expect me to just believe that? I expect you to listen. He paced a few steps, then stopped. Say it clearly. You are Richard Reed's biological son, I said. And I'm not. The words felt heavy in my mouth. He looked away. You think I want that? Don't you? I asked. He turned back to me. What do you think I've been missing? A father who could give you everything, I said. I had a mother who gave me everything, he replied. That's not the same. It is to me. His calm voice frustrated me. You grew up struggling, I said. Working part-time jobs. Watching your mom exhaust herself. And, he challenged. You shouldn't have had to. He stepped closer. And you shouldn't have grown up feeling unwanted. His words hit me hard. I wasn't just unwanted, I said quietly. I was a reminder of betrayal. He frowned. Explain. My mother cheated, I said. I was the result. My father knew. Switching us was his way of keeping control. Lucas exhaled slowly. So you were punished? Yes. And you think giving me money fixes that? It doesn't fix it, I snapped. But exposes them. Exposes them for what? He asked. For ruining 2 lives. He looked down at the ground. You think my life is ruined? You grew up without your real father. My real father, he said slowly, was the man who held my hand when I was scared. He wasn't your biological father. I don't care, he replied. His calmness made my anger feel loud. You're not even mad, I said. I am, he answered, but not the way you are. What does that mean? It means I'm angry at the lie, he said, not hungry for revenge. I clenched my fists. They deserve consequences. Maybe, he said, but I won't burn my life down to watch them fall. I stared at him. They stole your future. They didn't steal my heart, he replied. My mom gave me love. I don't care about money. The simplicity of his words broke something inside me. I never had that. I whispered. He softened. That's not my fault. I know. He looked at me carefully. What do you really want, Daniel? I want them to feel what I felt, I said. Small. Unwanted. And then what, he asked. I don't know. That's the problem, he said gently. You're running on anger. Wouldn't you? I shot back. He thought for a moment. Maybe. But anger doesn't build anything. It destroys, I said. Yes, he replied. And sometimes it destroys the wrong person. I felt defensive. You think I'm a villain? I think you're hurt, he said. There's a difference. I laughed bitterly. You sound wise. I just don't want to hate people who don't even think about me, he said. They think about you now, I said. He looked uneasy. What did you tell them? That I met you. His eyes widened. You told them? Yes. Why would you do that? Because I wanted them scared. He ran a hand through his hair. You're playing with fire. They started it. He stepped closer. Listen to me. If you push too hard, they'll push back. I'm not afraid of them. You should be careful, he said. I've been careful my whole life, I replied. Look where that got me. He studied me in silence. For the first time, I said slowly, I'm asking myself something. What, he asked. Am I becoming the villain in my own story? He didn't answer right away. You're at a crossroads, he finally said. You can choose who you become. Before I could respond, my phone buzzed. Father. I ignored it. It buzzed again. Lucas glanced at the screen. That's him, isn't it? Yes. Answer it. I hesitated, then picked up. Where are you? My father demanded. Out, I said. With him, he asked sharply. Silence. I warned you, he said coldly. You have no idea what you're doing. I know exactly what I'm doing, I replied. You contacted Lucas Hayes, he said. Do you think I wouldn't find out? My stomach tightened. How? I asked. I have eyes everywhere, he said. You will stop this immediately. I looked at Lucas standing in front of me, calm but alert. No, I said. There was a pause on the line. You just made a serious mistake, my father said quietly. The call ended. Lucas looked at me. He knows. Yes, I replied. And now, he asked. I felt the weight of what I'd started. Now, I said slowly, everything changes. I walked into the house, knowing it was coming. My father was waiting in the living room. You met him again, he said. Yes. His hand slammed against the table. You will stay away from him. No. The word felt powerful. You ungrateful boy, he snapped. After everything I gave you. You gave me control. I shot back. Not love. Love, he laughed bitterly. You were lucky I kept you. Kept me. I repeated. My mother stood near the stairs, pale and silent. You were a liability, my father continued. Do you understand what that scandal would have done to us? So I paid for your reputation? I asked. You benefited from it, he said. Private schools. Luxury. Opportunity. I would trade it, I said. For honesty. His eyes hardened. You think meeting that boy makes you brave? It makes me aware. Ethan walked in annoyed. What's going on now? Your brother's trying to destroy this family, my father said. Ethan looked at me. Still obsessed with that stupid theory? It's not a theory, I said. It's the truth. Ethan scoffed. You've always been jealous. Of what? I asked. Of me, he replied coldly. You couldn't handle not being the favorite. I stared at him. I was never competing with you. Yes, you were, he said. And you lost. Enough, my father snapped. He looked at me. You will apologize publicly. You will say you were confused and emotional. No, you will, he repeated, voice low and dangerous. I won't lie for you. His face turned red. Then you're no longer my responsibility. I never was, I said. He pulled out his phone. Effective immediately. All your credit cards are canceled. I felt my pocket vibrate. You can't be serious, I said. I'm very serious, he replied. You are removed from the company inheritance. I'll have legal documents drawn tonight. My mother whispered, Richard, please. He ignored her. You want independence? He said. You'll have it. Ethan crossed his arms. About time. I looked at him. You really think this makes you stronger? It makes me the only son left, he said. The words cut deeper than I expected. My father walked toward the front door and opened it. You will leave this house, he said. Now. I stood still. Go, he repeated. I looked at my mother. Are you going to say anything? Tears ran down her face. Please don't make this worse. I didn't start this, I said quietly. You're ending it, my father replied. I walked upstairs, packed a small bag, and came back down. As I reached the door, my father spoke again. One more thing. I turned. If anyone asks, he said, you're unstable. You've been struggling mentally. That's why you're gone. I felt my chest tighten. You're going to lie about me? I'm protecting this family, he said. You're protecting yourself. He didn't deny it. Ethan smirked. You always were dramatic. I walked out without answering. The door shut behind me. I stood on the sidewalk with one bag and no plan. My phone buzzed with notifications. Cards declined. Bank access restricted. Then a news alert popped up. Richard Reed's son steps away from family business due to personal struggles. I laughed softly. So that's the story, I muttered. Thrown away again. But this time, something inside me didn't feel broken. It felt cold. Focused. If they think I'm nothing, I whispered, I'll become something they fear. I checked into a cheap motel that night. The room smelled like dust and old carpet. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at my empty wallet. For the first time in my life, I had no safety net. My phone rang. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. Hello. I answered. Daniel Reed, a calm female voice asked. Yes. My name is Victoria Kane. I used to consult for your father's company. I sat up straighter. Used to? Yes, she replied. I left after I realized how he handles internal matters. What do you want? I asked carefully. I saw the news, she said. You've been publicly labeled unstable. That's generous, I said. I don't think you are, she replied. I think you're angry. I was silent. And anger, she continued, can either destroy you or build something powerful. Why are you calling me? I asked. Because you understand the company from the inside, she said, and I understand its weaknesses. My heart beat faster. You're suggesting. I'm suggesting you stop fighting emotionally, she said, and start thinking strategically. I don't have money, I said. You have knowledge, she replied. That's more valuable. I leaned back against the wall. You barely know me, I said. I know your father, she answered. That's enough. I exhaled slowly. What would this involve? I asked. Building something of your own, she said. Competing fairly. Exposing truth legally. Not revenge. I asked. Revenge is loud, she said. Power is quiet. Her words settled deep inside me. I won't beg for their love anymore, I said quietly. Good, she replied. Love from the wrong people is weakness. I looked around the small motel room. Where do we start? I asked. She paused briefly. Tomorrow, she said. At 9. If you're serious. I am. After the call ended, I lay back on the bed and stared at the ceiling. They thought they erased me. They thought I would crawl back. Instead, I felt something new. Purpose. I closed my eyes and whispered, I'm done being your secret. Tomorrow, I would begin building my own name. My new apartment had cracked walls and a leaking sink. This is temporary, I told myself. Victoria stood by the window during our first real meeting there. You downgraded fast, she said. I lost everything overnight, I replied. She looked at me carefully. No, you lost comfort, not ability. I crossed my arms. Ability doesn't pay rent. It can, she said, if you stop thinking like a victim. I didn't answer. You're angry, she continued. Good. Anger builds empires. Or destroys them, I said. That depends on control, she replied. I sat at the small table with my laptop open. I worked in my father's company for years. He never trusted me with big decisions. But you watched, she said. Yes. You studied systems, security flaws, internal operations. I nodded slowly. Then use it, she said. Build a tech security firm. Companies pay well to protect data. I don't have investors. You have me, she replied calmly. And I know people who hate incompetence. I smirked slightly. That includes my father? Especially him. The first weeks were brutal. No one takes me seriously, I told her during a late-night call. Why, she asked. Because I'm Richard Reed's unstable son. Then stop using that name, she said. What does that mean? Introduce yourself as Daniel, she replied. Nothing else. I hesitated. Just Daniel. Yes. Build from zero. I started cold calling small companies. Hi, this is Daniel. I specialize in internal security audits. Most hung up. Some laughed. One said, Aren't you that rich guy's kid? I'm not anymore, I answered. Days blurred into nights. I barely slept. I coded software, designed protection systems, drafted proposals. When doubt crept in, I stared at the bracelet I kept in my drawer. Lucas Hayes. It reminded me why I started. One evening, Victoria reviewed my proposal. This is strong, she said. It's basic, I replied. It's efficient, she corrected. You're underselling yourself. I'm not my father, I muttered. Good, she said. He confuses power with fear. I leaned back. What if I fail? Then you fail, she replied calmly. And you try again. A week later, I heard rumors. Ethan had taken over a major division in my father's company. He's making aggressive investments, Victoria told me. Risky? I asked. Reckless. I felt a strange mix of satisfaction and concern. Let him, I said. You still care, she observed. I care about winning, I replied. One night, Lucas knocked on my door. You live here, he asked, stepping inside. For now, I said. He looked around quietly. It's small, he said. It's mine. He nodded. How are you? Tired. Regret it yet? He asked. No. He sat down. My mom asked about you. What did you say? That you're stubborn. I laughed softly. Accurate. He studied my face. You're pushing yourself too hard. I have to. Why? He asked. Because if I stop, they win. Winning against them won't heal you, he said gently. I don't need healing. Yes, you do, he replied. I looked away. You don't understand. Then explain. I grew up feeling like I didn't belong, I said. Now I know I didn't. I need to prove I'm not nothing. You don't need revenge, he said quietly. But I do, I replied. He sighed. What happens when they fall? I'll feel justice. And then, I didn't answer. He stood up. Just don't lose yourself. I won't. After he left, I stared at my computer screen. An email notification popped up. Subject, Security Audit Proposal. I opened it quickly. Mr. Daniel, we reviewed your presentation. We are interested in a meeting. My heart started racing. I called Victoria immediately. They responded. I said. Which one? She asked. Harper Logistics. She paused. That's significant. They're mid-sized, I said. They supply to your father's largest client, she replied. I went silent. Do you understand what this means? She asked. If we secure them, you'll be competing directly with your father's company. My pulse pounded in my ears. This isn't revenge, I said slowly. No, she replied. This is business. I smiled for the first time in weeks. Schedule the meeting, she said. I will. The next morning, I stood outside Harper Logistics office building. I looked down at my simple suit. No family name. No inheritance. Just me. Inside the conference room, the CEO leaned forward. Why should we trust you? He asked. Because I know exactly how companies like Reed Enterprises operate, I replied. And you can protect us better? Yes. He studied me. You're competing with your father. I'm competing with complacency, I corrected. There was silence. Then he nodded slowly. We'll give you a trial contract. My breath caught. Thank you, I said. As I walked out of the building, my phone buzzed. Victoria. Well, she asked. We got it, I said. She laughed softly. Congratulations. I looked up at the city skyline. This wasn't just a contract. It was a declaration. I wasn't begging anymore. I wasn't hiding. I had just stepped onto the same battlefield as my father. And this time, I wasn't the unwanted son. I was the competition. I watched the news from my small apartment, coffee in hand. Richard Reed Enterprises faces sudden financial collapse, the anchor said. I didn't feel guilty. Not yet. Victoria leaned against the counter. You did this quietly, she said. I just revealed the truth, I replied. I didn't lie. I didn't cheat. I just showed the cracks they already had. They won't take it well, she said. They won't, I agreed. I picked up my phone. No messages, except one number I didn't recognize. I ignored it. Later, my phone rang. It was a withheld number. Hello, I said. Daniel, Margaret's voice. Soft, trembling. Mom, I said flatly. Please stop this, she begged. I laughed bitterly. Stop what? Destroying the family. Don't ruin everything, she said. You stopped being my mother the day you switched me, I said. My voice shook, but I held it steady. Silence. Then she hung up. I tossed the phone onto the couch. You sound cold, Victoria said. I feel cold, I admitted. They destroyed me first. That afternoon, I got updates from Harper Logistics. Ethan's reckless deals were causing massive losses. Investors were pulling out. They're panicking, Victoria said. You're rising as they fall. I smiled faintly. It feels right, but a knot tightened in my stomach. Lucas had been quiet for days. I called him. No answer. I texted. Nothing. Finally, I went to his apartment. The door was slightly ajar. Lucas, I whispered. No reply. I pushed it open. The living room was empty. Drawers slightly open, paper scattered. Someone's been here, I muttered. My heart raced. I called Victoria. He's gone. His apartment's been ransacked. Stay calm, she said. Call the police. I don't know who could do this, I said. Think logically, she said. Who would want to hurt Lucas? My father's rivals? I suggested. Victoria frowned. Why him? Because he's Richard Reed's biological son, I said quietly. If I expose their corruption, someone could be trying to use him as leverage. I ran a hand through my hair. I never thought it could come to this. You didn't think, Daniel, she said. But now you must act fast. I left immediately, driving through the city, calling every friend and contact Lucas had. No one had seen him. I thought back to the first time I met him. Calm, kind. He had nothing to do with this, yet here he was caught in my war. I should have protected him better, I muttered. Victoria's voice cut through my thoughts. This isn't your fault, but you need to be careful. Your father's company has enemies. Some are ruthless. Enemies or mine? I asked. Maybe both, she said. My phone buzzed again. An anonymous text. Stop or he pays the price. I froze. Lucas. The words twisted in my gut. He's threatening him, I whispered. Victoria's tone was firm. You need to focus. Find him before it's too late. I clenched my fists. I can't let anything happen to him. He's innocent. You said it yourself, she replied. This war can hurt anyone, Daniel. Even those you care about. I ran through scenarios. Checkpoints. Friends. His favorite cafes. Every route he might take. Hours passed. Night fell. I received another alert. Lucas's phone was unreachable. Call the police, Victoria urged. I will, I said, but they don't understand the stakes. They'll treat this like a normal missing person case. Then you handle it yourself, she said. I nodded. My mind raced. Every lead, every possibility, every enemy connection. I remembered the calm look in Lucas's eyes when he told me, you don't need revenge. Now, I realized revenge was a double-edged sword. My actions were pulling him into danger. I clenched the steering wheel. I didn't ask for this war, I whispered, but I started it. I have to fix it. Victoria's voice came over my speaker. Focus. Prioritize him. Ignore everything else. I will, I said. I drove through the night, calling, searching, retracing every step. But the city was silent. Lucas was gone. My chest tightened. I can't lose him, I muttered. Not like this. Not to my enemies. Not because of my revenge. I parked under a streetlight, staring at the dark skyline. The empire I was building, it could wait. Right now, saving him mattered more. And as I stared into the night, I whispered, almost to myself, I won't fail you, Lucas. Somewhere out there, my only brother, my reflection, was in danger. And I had no idea who had taken him. The hospital smells like antiseptic and fear. Lucas lies in a bed, bruised and bandaged, tubes in his arms. I stand by the window, fists clenched. Daniel, he whispers. Weak, barely audible. I'm here, I say, voice shaking. They hit me, he mutters. Said it's your fault. I step closer. It's not your fault. You didn't ask for any of this, he whispers again. Tears burn behind my eyes. I didn't either. Victoria stands near the door. You need to calm down, she says. I can't, I snap. They hurt him because of me. You started it, she reminds me. But this is not revenge anymore. It's poison. I kneel beside the bed. I just wanted justice. I say. I wanted them to feel what I felt. And now, she asks. I see. I whisper. How much it spreads. How it hurts the innocent. Lucas coughs softly. I never wanted to be part of this war. I know, I say, gripping his hand. I thought I could control it. You can't control people like your father, Victoria says softly. I nod. I thought I could hurt him without collateral damage. You can't, she repeats. I glance at Lucas. His eyes meet mine. Daniel, stop it, he says. I forgive them. You don't need to punish anyone for me. I shake my head. I can't just let them walk away. You can if you survive this, Victoria says. If you let the anger rule, everyone loses. I close my eyes. The truth hits me harder than any blow. Revenge has a cost. And it's not just theirs. Later that night, I call my father. My hands shake so badly, I almost drop the phone. Daniel, he answers calm, almost bored. This ends now, I say. No more games. There's silence. Then a sharp intake of breath. You think you can scare me with threats? He asks. I'm not threatening. I'm confronting. This stops tonight. You can't stop me, he sneers. Watch me, I say. I'm done being your pawn. Done being your reminder. Another pause. Then he laughs quietly. You always had fire. I admired it in the wrong place. What are you talking about? I demand. I always knew, he says quietly, that you weren't mine. But raising you, controlling you, it made the shame bearable. I feel my stomach drop. You knew. Yes, he says. From the moment I saw the nurse's handwriting on your file. I knew, but I never told you. Why? I ask, voice barely steady. Because raising you, controlling you, it made me feel in control, he says. His voice falters. You were never my son. Only a reminder of her betrayal, of my failure. I feel something break inside me. You never loved me? I whisper. I love control, he admits. Not you. I drop the phone. My hands shake. You're destroying everything, he continues. And I deserve it. But don't let it destroy yourself. I can't undo this. I whisper, voice trembling. You can stop, he says softly. Stop letting it rule you. I sink onto the floor, the phone still in my lap. Lucas, my brother, my reflection, almost destroyed because of my desire for vengeance. I feel bile rise in my throat. What have I done? I whisper. Victoria kneels beside me. You learned, she says gently. That's the first step. The rest is what you do with it. I glance at the phone. I wanted him to feel pain. I say quietly. Not this. Not Lucas. You weren't thinking, she says. You were acting. That's the cost. I stand slowly, muscles aching from tension. I have to make it right, I say. You start with him, Victoria says. Lucas first. Then you decide what kind of man you want to be. I look back at Lucas. His eyes are closed, bruises fading under pale skin. I can't undo what happened. I whisper. But I can protect him. Victoria nods. Then do that, and leave the rest behind. I touch his hand again. I'm sorry, I whisper. He murmurs something I barely hear. Daniel, it's not too late. And in that moment, I realize how hollow my revenge felt. How meaningless it was when someone innocent pays the price. I feel anger and guilt warring inside me. This ends, I whisper again. For him, for me, for everything. I pick up the phone to call security, to call the police, to call anyone who can help him. Lucas survives. I survive. But the man I thought I was, the man driven by revenge. I let him go, because finally, I see the truth. Revenge isn't power. It's poison, and I've been drinking it too long. I stand in my office, overlooking the city. The skyline looks different now. Mine, not my father's. Victoria enters. It's done, she says. Everything. I ask. All of it. Contracts, audits, investor shifts. Reed Enterprises is crumbling. I lean back. And Ethan, she lost everything, Victoria says. Bad investments, withdrawals. He's finished. I nod. Satisfaction tastes bitter. My phone buzzes. Margaret. I answer reluctantly. Daniel, she starts. Her voice shaky. You have a confession to make. I ask. Yes, she admits. About the hospital switch. I did it. I switched the babies. To save myself. To save Richard. And now? I ask. I'm confessing publicly. To avoid prison, she says quietly. I exhale. The weight of years crashes down. Public statements flood the media. Headlines scream the scandal. My father is silent. My mother takes the blame. I feel something strange, relief, maybe, or emptiness. Ethan calls. Daniel, you lost. I say simply. There's nothing left to salvage. I made mistakes, he whispers. Yes, you made choices, I reply. Victoria looks at me. Now what? Do you finish him? I shake my head. No, I won't become him. Be careful, she warns. He'll try to rebuild. Let him, I say. I'm done caring about him. Lucas visits quietly that afternoon. He smiles softly. They're gone, I say. They pay the price, he replies. But you didn't have to destroy everything to win. I thought I had to, I admit. You had control, he says. But you chose not to use it to hurt. I look out the window. It's tempting. I could take it all. Their fortune, their name. Crush them completely. Lucas shakes his head. And then what? You be no different. I smile faintly. I'm tired of being their shadow. I already have what matters, he says. You, my life. I'm not chasing wealth I don't need. I nod, feeling the final release of years of anger. The board calls to finalize my company's contracts. Investors trust me fully. My empire is strong. My father's is collapsing. But I don't gloat. I don't call him. I don't savor the moment. Instead, I walk through my office feeling light. Victoria notices. You look free. I am, I say. Anger ruled me for too long. Revenge. Revenge is a poison I don't want anymore. Lucas sits beside me. You've changed the world, Daniel. Without becoming them. I smile genuinely. It wasn't easy. He nods. Nothing worth doing ever is. I glance out at the city again. The skyline stretches endlessly, full of possibilities. Do you ever miss wanting revenge? Victoria asks. Not anymore, I say. It controlled me. Now, I control it. Or I let it go. Lucas chuckles softly. Good choice. I feel peace I haven't known since I discovered the truth about my life. The anger, the betrayal, the years of being nothing. They're still part of me. But they don't rule me. I turn to Victoria. Time to focus on building, not breaking. She smiles. Exactly. I look at Lucas again. You don't want to read fortune? No, he says. I already have everything I need. And me? I ask quietly. You, he replies simply. That's enough. I nod. The weight lifts entirely. For the first time in my life, I am free. I don't need to destroy. I don't need to prove anything. I only need to live. The scandal, the downfall, the betrayal, they're behind me now. I walk to the window and breathe deeply. I won't become you. I whisper to my father, silently, knowing he hears the echo through the collapse. And for the first time, I'll let go of the anger. The courthouse smelled like paper and cold air. Daniel Reed, the clerk asked. Yes, I replied, my voice steady. You're here to file a name change? Yes, to Daniel Hayes. Any particular reason? I looked at the floor for a moment. Because that's who I am. They handed me the forms. I signed, feeling every line cut ties with the past. Congratulations, Mr. Hayes, the clerk said. I nodded, a strange lightness in my chest. Outside, Victoria was waiting. Feeling free? She asked, smiling. I am, I said. Finally. Lucas met me afterward. His smile was quiet but warm. You really did it, he said. I did, I replied. No more Reed. No more shadows. Just me. He laughed softly. So what now? Build something real, I said. Something lasting. Together. We walked to a modest neighborhood where Sarah Hayes had been living. I handed her keys. For you, I said quietly. She looked stunned. Daniel, no speeches, I said. Just a home. You earned it. Quietly. Tears ran down her face. Thank you. I don't know how to repay you. Just live, I said. That's enough. Later, Lucas and I sat in the new living room. Plans spread across the table. We're really doing this, he said. Yes, I replied. No family obligations. No inherited shame. Just choice. Brotherhood by choice. He smiled. I like that. Victoria called that evening. Dinner, she asked, voice playful. Only if you promise not to talk business, I said. You're funny, she said softly. I laughed. You make me feel like there's more to life than revenge and spreadsheets. Good, she said. Because there is. Weeks later, I stood on stage at a conference about business integrity. The room was packed. Investors, entrepreneurs, reporters. I took a deep breath. Integrity and truth in business aren't optional, I said. They define us. They guide us. They matter more than wealth, more than power, and far more than fear. From a back, I noticed a familiar figure. My father. He stood there, silent, watching. He looked smaller than I remembered, weaker, irrelevant. I glanced at him and felt nothing but freedom. The applause washed over me. Victoria squeezed my hand. Lucas stood nearby, calm, a quiet pride in his eyes. After the speech, reporters approached. I answered questions with honesty, openness. My story was no longer about scandal or revenge. It's about choice, I said. The choice to live honestly, to act rightly, to be better than what hurt us. Victoria leaned close. You've come so far, she said. I smiled, feeling the weight lift entirely. We have. Lucas nodded. This is ours. Not inherited. Not stolen. Ours. I looked at him and then at Victoria. I never thought freedom would feel like this. Victoria teased. Careful. You might get used to it. I laughed softly. I hope so. Later, in the quiet of my new office, I stared at the plaque on my desk. Daniel Hayes. No Reed. No shadow. Just my name. My life. I thought about everything. The lies, the betrayal, the anger, the revenge. I let it go. Finally. I wasn't their son. Not by blood. Not by choice. But I was me. And that was more than enough. I looked out the window at the city, lights flickering like possibilities. I whispered to no one in particular, but to everyone who had ever doubted me. I wasn't the son they wanted, but I became the man they could never control.